What's up? What's up? Ah! Good timing?
Did you just pull up?
I just pulled up.
Oh, I just walked out. We are in sync.
Yeah, you're.
Okay. Leave that there. Take this one.
Media content manager of the Women's International Music Network, and I'm here with the phenomenal, iconic Brie Howard Darling of Fanny and Fanny Walked The Earth.
Thanks, Mickey.
Thanks for being here. We are here in Sacramento, California.
My old stomping grounds.
Yes, because I just picked her up from the airport, and we're headed over to the high school for the Girls Rock Sacramento Teen Music Camp.
Yes.
This is day 4, which is kind of crazy because they've only got one more day.
They're on day 4 now.
They're on day 4.
They've been working
since Monday.
Okay, great. Awesome.
And Brie is in town. You just flew in because you are going to talk with these young women and give them your experience and life lessons.
I'm here to share this experience with them because I think it's really amazing. They're, what, 12 to 17? Is that right?
12 to 17.
And when I started, I was 14. Right in their ballpark.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
And I love that because I know where they're at. Or I'll try to remember. It's been a while. But I love it. I love that there are these girls' rock camps now, and that women have a place, girls have a place to go and you know, get into it. You know, it's a great thing to have.
So exactly, and for those that are just watching and don't know about the Girls Rock Camp, so Girls Rock Sacramento is affiliated with Girls Rock Camp Alliance. From what I understand, there are over 70 camps in 12 countries. It began in 2001.
Oh, I'm going to be busy.
Yeah, you're going to be traveling all.
I want to go to all of them.
And it's a week-long camp for young girls and those who identify as girls who have a love for music, but they don't need any experience whatsoever. That's the best part. So they come into the camp, they get to decide which instrument they want to do, if they want to sing. They get paired with a coach to learn how to play. They get put into a band. A lot of them have met for the first time.
Do they choose a band? Do the instructors or the...
They get put together.
Okay, they get put together.
And once they're a band, they get to come up with a band name.
Nice.
And they create an original song from beginning to end.
And they have help getting.
They have help.
That's
Now,
so
yes,
cool.
they're coached on how to write music. They're coached on how to sing a melody. They're coached on how to play. And not just that, but throughout the week they learn about community and empowerment. They learn about merchandise. They get to silkscreen and make their own merch. They have speakers that come every day to educate them on marketing, on safety. I'm one of the volunteers for this one at Girls Rock Sacramento because I teach self-defense and self-awareness. They have meditation classes. They have, it's nonstop. It's great. In the lunchtime, a lot of performers will come out and perform for them. And like you, the people come out and do Q&As. And then the culmination of everything, Saturday is their huge showcase. And there's actually 6 bands in this particular one.
Wow.
That's going to perform, which I believe what usually happens with this particular one is they also do mini camps by means young girls that are 7 to 11, and they just finished their camp like 3 weeks ago. Something tells me they're going to be there too on Saturday, and they're going to perform their song.
Wow, okay. So does each band get to do a couple songs or one song? The one song
They do their
created?
one song that they created. Because they're only together for like 5 hours a day for 5 days.
I'm kind of jealous because it sounds like they're learning everything in 1 week that it took me, X amount of years to learn how to do. Where was my camp?
Where was your camp? So many women like you have said that while you're excited that this camp exists, you're also like, where was my camp? Because, and why don't we share with the listeners, what was it like for you being 14, 15 here in Sacramento, trying to make it as an artist, as a musician, as a woman?
Well, okay, first of all, I guess ours was the school's life camp because there were no camps then about, being in bands. And I just happened to hook up with a few kids from the town of Folsom, which is where I lived. And, we got together and they had a manager, which was a mom, which is now called a momager, which I love. And she got us gigs and she helped us, be organized. So she was kind of, I guess, our camp leader. Because you need somebody to help guide you,
Yes.
And when we rehearsed in my living room at my folks' house, house. You know, my mom would be flipping burgers, and you know they'd be moving the furniture, so we had a place to rehearse, and we would rehearse at all the different kids' house. But we didn't have that concept of trying to make it as a band, because all we knew is we loved playing music, and boy, this is fun. You know, now I'm one of those people that's very fortunate that one thing led to another, and here I am, you know, 50 years later, getting to still do what I love, which is play music. And that's just my good fortune, and some other, you know, people I know, it's a good fortune. And a lot of people, you know, it fell by the wayside, or they didn't have the opportunities or the guidance. So the Girls Rock Camp is an awesome thing to really give them the leg up to, you know what it is for me? It's to know that you have a place on the rock and roll stage.
Yes.
To know there is a place for you if you want it. Because
absolutely.
We didn't know that. We kind of found it out over years and years and years of sticking together. I call it our little tribe.
Well, what was the year that you started, though?
I started playing when I was 14, so that was like 1965.
1965.
And I played I was an accidental drummer. Somebody came over to audition one of my drummers to play drums in his band, and I happened to be sitting on the drums, and I got the gig. And my brother was so dear and wonderful. He let me take his drums, let me take his gig, and you know. But so that's how I got started, and that band lasted. I mean, it seems like it was forever, but it was probably for maybe a year and a half. And then I met June and Jean, and that was the first time I played with all women. All women,
yeah. And how did you all meet?
You know, because it was a small community. They lived in Sacramento, and I would play in Sacramento. Because Folsom is, I think it's about maybe 15 miles out of Sacramento. It's basically the suburb of Sacramento.
Correct.
So they were looking for a drummer. My little band had, I guess, broken up for some reason. I don't even remember why. And just because there were, you know, it was a small community, even in, you know, neighboring cities. And I think my mom read about it in the paper, you know, in the Folsom Telegraph.
Oh, how funny!
And said
that they're auditioning.
Look at these Filipino girls playing music, you know, and that's so odd. First of all, that we all had the same heritage, and they were in the same area, and there was bass, drums, and guitar. So
it was meant to be.
Kind of.
That's crazy.
So we got together, and from the get go, it was kind of like, okay, this is it. This is working. I don't even remember it being an audition. It was more like come and meet everybody, and I clearly remember meeting June and Jean the moment I met them, and they were just like these, you know, big, tall, beautiful goddesses to me, because I'm
you are short. You and I were short, because you know, yeah.
But so, you know, and Jean and I were like fast friends. That was like automatic. June was kind of the hard worker in the band. She would kind of, you know, crack the whip and get us to rehearsal. And
isn't there always that one person in the band that's like that?
Well, it has to be that way. Somebody has to.
There's always that one
just
person.
Fool around too much.
True.
And
just jam and never get anything done.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know, and it just worked. And we ended up playing like teen fairs. You know, we ended up playing at high school dances, on military bases here in the area. We played all over the Sacramento area, and then we started spreading out, going out a little bit further. Then we ended up going, you know, like to playing in Tahoe, going to Reno, and then further north. We, you know, as the years went by and we got older and we got our licenses, we cut loose, man.
Kelly, well, let me ask you this. So what was it like for you, young teenagers, you know, in the 60s? What was the reception when you would take the stage and play music that young?
You know, it's hard for me to say what was the reception, because all I know is I was having a ball.
Okay.
I loved performing, I loved singing, and I imagine if they would have been like, you know, oh, stinky face, I probably wouldn't have been having fun. I was having a ball, which means they were having a ball.
That works.
I think we were lucky. We went back to the same places over and over. They had us back. And especially one of the places we ended up playing a lot, this is a couple of years later, is the military bases. And this was in the late 60s when people were going to war.
That's true.
So
Vietnam.
We were playing for men that were possibly not going to come back.
Oh my goodness. What was that like?
Well, you know,
I mean, was that heavy?
It was heavy, but we were so young, you know. It's like I kind of knew, but I kind of didn't. It didn't.
Okay.
I didn't get. I do now, but I didn't get that
what all
these
that really
men were
meant.
having their last hurrah party, because they didn't know if they were coming back. They were going to Vietnam, you know. But one thing we did love is we loved that they appreciated us so much. You know, they got up and danced their asses off, and we had a ball playing for them. You know, we did at that time. We did a lot of cover tuning, so they recognized everything we did.
There you go. That's usually how bands get a start, is learning other people's music while they create their own.
Yeah.
I mean,
very rarely do you just have that thing in you that you want to create music, or at least that's how it seems to me. The first band I played in, the first job I got, the woman who was managing, she was the guitar player's mother. The guitar player was 12 years old, and he was one of those guys. He was already writing songs at 12.
Wow.
He was like a phenomenon.
Like a little prodigy.
He was, yeah. So that does happen. For me, I didn't even really sing. I was a drummer. And as I was playing with the girls, I think the first time I sang lead was when I think June gave me Reach Out, I'll Be There by the Four Tops to sing. And I discovered I could sing, and I discovered I loved it. So
it seems like music just constantly would happen by chance for you because it was your calling.
You know what? I think so. And I have to say, fast forward all this time, here we are. We're talking about the mid to late 60s, and here we are, 2018, and it's still just
You're still doing music.
It's still just calling me.
You all just released an album.
We released, yes, what Jean and June, my little band called the Svelts, continued on. People came and left, changed members, but it eventually became the group Fanny, which was the first all-girl group signed to a major record label to do a full LP.
So amazing.
That's Fanny's claim to fame.
Iconic.
And that was before the Bangles and the Go-Go's and the Runaways. Of course, they were more famous than us. But, Fanny came first. And within the 5-year period from 1970 to 1975, we released 5 albums, which is...
Wow.
I think I'm pretty... Actually, when I sat down and thought about that, because a lot of this just comes.
You blazed the trail
later.
for all of them.
That's right, and a lot.
I feel like you
say
did.
So yeah, when we did the record, it's called Fanny Walked The Earth because that alludes to our being dinosaurs that we are. But a few women group friends and fans came to sing with us. Like Cherie Currie from the Runaways, Kathy Valentine from the Go-Go's.
What?
All of the Bangles came to sing with us.
Serious?
On the song When We Need Her, which...
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
How did I not know this?
Oh, I don't know, but you know it now.
I do! Oh, that's incredible. That makes that song even more special.
Yeah, and, I wanted to have all of the Fanny women on it. All 6 women that recorded as Fanny. That was my goal on this record. And so I invited Alice DeBure, and she came and played on one of the songs. And Patty Quattro came, and I asked her about singing on When We Need Her, and she said she was the one that said, hey, you want some other girl groups? And we started slamming this idea together, and it just happened organically. I reached out, and all these women said yes.
Isn't that great?
And they said, for you guys, you forged the trail. Yeah, absolutely. We're there.
Oh, see that one? Oh,
It's
tribe and empowerment.
Yes.
Community. I love it.
So that was a really beautiful thing, and we're honored to have them on the record.
Oh
with
my
us.
gosh. And that's the one that's just out now.
There's a song
That's
called,
the new one.
Yes, the last video that was released is called When We Need Her, and apparently just because of the times, because of what's going on socially and politically, it's being used in some political videos for empowerment of women. We have a woman that's running for Congress, Mindy Mesmer, and she is
using your song.
our song in her
This
campaign
is
video.
incredible. Okay, so be prepared because I'm going to share that video on the women's page.
Great. Wonderful.
We need to, especially knowing all this now.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to anyways, but wow. So great. And wait, hold on. Don't you also have another project you're working on besides?
I've got a couple.
She doesn't stop, by the way, everyone who's watching. This woman, she's like going to be 128.
That's right.
But
Next
she's...
month.
And yet, no, I'm kidding. Actually, how old are you going to be?
I am going to be 69.
69, and she's got all these projects. I fell out the other day. We were talking on the phone because we were arranging for me to when doing the camp, right? The Girls Rock camp. And I remember we're talking, and then she says to me, all right, Mick, thank you. I got to go because I've got one of my projects is here. We're about to lay down do some songwriting, whatever. And I'm just thinking, life goals. I hope when I'm about to turn 69, I'm so busy because I have 3 bands and I'm working on this and I'm doing that and just changing the world to make it better.
Well, you know what was
So
really
awesome.
What was really kind of cool is there was this period of time when I wasn't doing so much of what I wanted to do. I was doing other creative things, and I'm not going to whine because I'm lucky. I got to do things that I love doing, this creative stuff. But I missed doing music. And so there was a short period of time that felt like forever. And then, June called me up, asked me to play the Fanny segment of a tribute that was being paid to her in, was it Southampton? Northampton. And so I went to do it, and that kind of re-sparked us because when we played together for the first time in, like, I want to say somewhere between 30 and 45 years, we went, I was wondering if it would sound as good, and what I wasn't thinking of is we have all that experience, all that, time on our instruments, all that life experience, and we were even better than before. And so that kind of, in the back of my head, I love the back of my head because it tells me what's going to happen if I just, am cool and hang in there. I thought that there might be a chance that we might be able to do something, and that's exactly what happened. I posted like an 18-second video of a song that we did, Hey Bulldog, and the president of our record company saw it on Facebook, and he had been a Fanny fan. He had all our records. And my husband produces a lot of records for that record company, so he called up and said, hey, let's do this. And that's basically how it came to be. And now that that door's been open, and right before we got the award at She Rocks, that was going to be our very first gig in 40 years.
What?
Yeah, Jean, our bass player, who lives up here in this area now, she got a minor stroke.
Right.
And so we were not able to play, and she was not able to show up for the awards. And, the first thing was everybody's concern and wanting, wishing her the positive.
Oh, absolutely. Sending positive energy, healing.
And then, but the thing is the reality is Jean she's recovering really well, but she's got a road ahead of her, and she's going to do what she needs to do to take care of herself. And I think I won't speak for June, but I know that she's playing and performing on her own. And I realize that, you take what you've done, and it's not like there's a door closing. It's like more doors are opening. So,
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, so I'm taking the opportunities that I have now and doing other projects. And so one of the projects we're working on, I can speak a little bit about.
Okay, do it.
My husband and I met while we had a band called Boxing Gandhis.
I love that name. Did you hear that, y'all? Boxing Gandhis.
A little fight, a lot of love.
I love that.
And what we're doing is
especially because of my tattoo.
That's right.
Be the change you wish to see in the world.
Basically, the reason we decided to do this is because what's going on in our world right now politically, people, especially children, are suffering, the border crisis, the crisis at the border, are going through some really uncomfortable changes, and it kind of made us realize we have a voice. We can say something. We can speak about this. And so we need to work out how we're going to do it, but we want all proceeds for this record that we do is going to go completely to one of the organizations that is supporting probably that specific situation.
Okay.
To get those kids back to their families. But all of the songs on the record are about what's going on in our world right now, socially, politically. It's our opportunity to
give back,
to speak of it.
Speak of it and give back. I love that. Look at you. See, every time you open your mouth, gems just fall the frick on out. And here I am just more and more enthralled with you. And you're so incredible.
Where are we now? Where are we going?
We're headed to the high school where...
This is hysterical. We just passed where I'm going to be staying, 15th Street, Inland Park.
Yeah, you're so close. We're going down Freeport.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah, you're that close.
So
you've got 2 more minutes to tell everybody what.
Oh, okay. Well, so then there's another project that I'm also working on, and I'm so excited about it, and I can't give you any information. Ooh, it's a tease. But it's going to be very
like most
cool.
women.
It's moving forward from where I left off
Okay.
with Fanny Walked The Earth.
Okay.
So we're going to hear from some more women. We're going to be doing some cool stuff. So
Awesome.
and I can't wait. And as soon as I am able to share that with you, you will be the first to know.
Yay! So then now for those of you, I mean, we're going to post this on the Facebook page in case you just came in on it and you can watch the whole thing from beginning. And where can people find Fanny Walked The Earth or find you?
Okay.
How do they find you on socials?
You can go Fanny Walked The Earth Facebook page, and I am like ridiculous. I answer everybody that posts. I don't know what is wrong with my brain. And then also too, you can go to our website, www.fannywalktheearth.com.
FannyWalkTheEarth.com.
Go to Blue Elan Records. They have a store, so just go to Blue Elan, find the store. You can buy Fanny Walked The Earth merchandise, the record, the vinyl. We have a vinyl. We have.
Oh, I love vinyl. I'm so glad it made a comeback.
Yeah, and then oh, you should have told me I would have brought you one. I'll get you one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm sure I'll see you again. No,
Oh,
no
yeah,
rush.
yeah.
No rush.
And so that's very cool. That's how you can get in touch with us. And also too, there's a Boxing Gandhis page on
Boxing Gandhis, people.
Facebook. Yes, and then you can always just get in touch with me too, because I love to chat with people on Facebook.
Because it's also tagged in this video. I tagged you, Brie, and I tagged Fanny Walked The Earth. So
Great.
definitely like the pages, please. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk
You're welcome.
on this lovely drive.
Are we pulling up?
We are pulling up. We're going to go now because we're getting ready to make some magic here at the Girls Rock Sacramento camp.
Yes.
Brie here is going to share her 100,000-year trek of
I'm getting older and older. by the
knowledge
mile.
of knowledge.
June and Jean from Fanny graduated from McClatchy High School.
That's crazy. And this is where the Girls Rock camp is. That's so crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
It's a small world unless you got to clean it.
Well, mama says you don't want the brass band to play no more, no. It's really loud and it really hurts, yeah. Well, we don't care what mama says, we're gonna play this music anyway. Mama says you don't want the brass band to play no more.
So we're so glad you're here. First of all,
Thank you for having me.
We're blown away. So Girls Rock Sacramento is a nonprofit organization that focuses on empowering girls through rock music education and also with social justice education. And
Awesome.
yeah, so we do. Right now we're doing band practice. So this is their 4th day of camp, and they're all spread out, 5 bands in 5 different rooms.
Okay.
Each one has a professional female musician as their coach.
Great.
And you can just go check out some rehearsals.
Can I maybe come coach next year?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
I would love that. I want to be a coach.
Oh my God, you'd be an amazing coach. Oh my gosh,
I would love it.
Can you coach me in my band? That would be so good. Talk to you soon. We're gonna do a little video.
I loved you. You were awesome.
Thank you so very much. I also really enjoy your hair.
Oh, thank you. It's almost natural.
So y'all want to say hi to Brie?
Hi.
So these guys are, what's the name of your band?
2 week notice.
2 Week Notice.
2 week note. I love it. Do you
Yeah.
mind if we kind of like sit here and listen a little
We're
bit?
just sorting through our last verse lyrics so we can turn them in. So we just have guitar and vocals for a minute here.
That's what it's baby, this is our second baby. This time I don't think that's fair. You were breathing out like you don't care. Every time you don't care. What we could have been, and I see
play it? Did you take a spot because it wasn't filled? Is it that you loved bass or guitar or drums? I just kind of want to know. What did you?
Oh, I love bass. I've played it for years, so
Okay.
I was really like.
Right.
excited
So
to
you're
have bass.
into bass. Okay. And how about you?
I really like guitar, but I've only started playing only like a month ago. Like I just started taking lessons a few weeks ago.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I just kind of picked it up.
How about you?
I started playing keyboard a few months ago,
Okay.
like in the beginning of the year. And I like been wanting to play it, but I never got lessons, so I just started teaching myself.
Yeah. Okay. I can relate to that. And how about you?
I've been playing drums for like 2 years now. Yeah, I really love this instrument. I like fast-paced songs a lot, but this is fine. I really like the rhythm of this. So.
It's funny because you said something and I totally related to you because I play drums. That's my instrument.
Yeah.
And when I play, I can't hear. I can't hear anything. So I've figured out ways to wear headphones so that it deadens my drums and I can hear other things. But it's a hard thing.
I just get caught up in this, and then I'm just hoping I'm playing along with you guys.
Oh yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, and I get that. And how about you?
I've been singing for like years because I've grown up around my dad, who's a musician, and I've sung with him on gigs and stuff for years. So.
Great. And so who wrote the music? Everybody?
For the music, they kind of came up with that mostly themselves. For lyrics, me and Jen.
Okay.
And X.
Okay, so you three made the lyrics?
Yeah.
And did you write the melody and the song to the music that already existed?
No, we actually did it. It was funny because had a weird writing process because I came up with a name before I knew any of the lyrics. Because I saw this name and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I love it.
And what's the name?
It's called Second Round.
Okay.
So I thought about that and I kind of thought about what we could write about.
Right.
And so then what I did was I kind of figured out a melody for it, and then I kind of figured out lyrics and stuff, and then we built the music around that.
Yeah. I just want to say I'm so blown away. It's an awesome song, and you guys sound amazing. I'm just so.
I agree. And it's my first time hearing what you guys have been working on so far too, so I should be proud.
It's just a matter of like piecing that with what we already have. So that's what we're trying to work on right now. Just we have it all basically, and I think the bridge kind of ties it all in. But it's just a matter of like making sure that we can get there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Right?
It's the very first all-girl band signed to a major record label to do a full album. That's our little place in history. So we were before the Runaways, before the Go-Go's, before the Bangles, and of course they got a lot more famous than us, but we still got to do that recording first, which is really cool. I want to learn how to do this. It's a great opportunity, so you're really fortunate. So I guess mostly what I have to say to you is that there is a place now, especially these days, for girls and for women to own it on that rock and roll stage more than ever before. You can have an entire career, and there's so many different kinds of players, so many different kinds of singers, so many different kinds of writers, and I saw that here today. There's technical people who are like really good technicians. There's a super kind of artistic person who's not necessarily technical, but everybody has their individual thing that they do well, and find what you love, find what you do well, find what you enjoy, and own it, and do it. I think maybe that's my best advice that I can give is I discovered what I loved. I love to perform. I'm much better live than I am in the studio. I love being in the studio, but I like the freedom of nobody being able to stop me. That's why I like live, because nobody can push that stop button. And I don't mind making mistakes. I love it when I see people on stage, especially big stars. I love it when they make mistakes because it makes them human. And that's cool. That's what I want to see. When I see somebody perform, when I hear somebody sing, I want to know something about the storyteller. Because the singer, to me, this is just my perspective, the singer is the storyteller. The song is the story, and those are the two most important things. As a drummer, I'm not the fanciest drummer on the planet, I'm not the best drummer, but I like what I do because I hold up the singer and I hold up the song. I honor that. I can sort of do solos, but that's not my thing. But it's certainly okay if it's your thing, because there's just room for all these different kinds of musicians. For me, it's that the kind of cool, and so many more that I won't remember, but it's a cool job. And you know what, as a woman, in one way I was kind of lucky because there weren't a lot of women doing it, so I got the job a lot of the times, because this is kind of, to me this is kind of a little bit weird, but it was good for me, is a lot of times they wanted a girl in the band, just for whatever that brings to a music experience. And I got the job, and they got someone who could do 3 things for the price of 1. So they were doing okay. But it's a great job. It's a great job. It's a great way to. Man, I heard some songs today that kind of blew my mind. I mean, I work hard at writing songs, and I thought I was going to come here and just kind of like maybe have a few little bangers, but you guys are like these melodies and the words and the music and the arrangements are going, it's pretty cool. You guys are awesome. So I'm super, super impressed. And if you have any questions, let them rip.
What's it like being like a girl drummer, and that there aren't really that many of them? What is it like? What's like harder about it, or like is there like a lot of specific kind of?
It's been different for me and like say Jean and June, because we played for so long together. As a drummer, I know what I can do. I'm very confident about what I know how to do. I can't do everything. I can't, I know I'm not as good as a lot of people, but I do me really well. So I enjoy myself. I love performing, and when I sit down at the drums, I know what I can do, and I do what I do, and I'm safe in my zone. If this one time somebody hired me to do a Latin thing, and I really didn't want to do it, and I really sucked. It was awful. I was really bad, and I swore I would never do that again. It was way out of my comfort zone. I shouldn't have agreed to do it. And I think that if you, opportunities are going to come up, and the best you can do is be ready for when they're there. You know, if you're ready for the opportunity, because I think that they will come. Everything is going on around you, and if you're ready, you can say yes. A lot of times I wasn't ready, and I said yes anyway, and it worked out, you know. Somebody would ask me, Robert Palmer called, and he had the song Addicted to Love. I don't know if you guys have even heard of it. Okay. He called me up. I have to remember, you know, it's a whole different age. But I got a call, and his percussionist was leaving the tour, and they asked me if I could come in. I said, sure. And I hung up the phone, and he told me it was going to be, he said, you're going to be playing some drum set, you're going to be playing percussion, and you're going to be playing electronic drums and singing a little bit, which is, he was the one person who used everything that I could do. Usually I would do one or the other, or maybe a couple, but I got to do all four things with Robert Palmer. So I said yes, and I hung up the phone, and I went, what the heck did I just say yes to? I don't know how to use electronic drums. So I called one of the techs that I had worked, and I said, can you teach me at least how to turn this thing on and how to use the electronic drum pads? And he did, and I went in, and it was a beautiful thing. So I think sometimes too, just be bold, and I knew that I had something to bring to the party. So, does that answer your question? Yeah.
Being a fan for so long, what was your favorite song that you guys had?
Well, that's interesting, because this is what I tend to do. We did those first 5 albums back in the 70s, and I had not listened to them because I always like to keep moving forward. I don't necessarily keep playing or looking into what I did in the past. And I did just hear Butter Boy for the first time in like 30 years, and I went, wow, no wonder that... Yeah, there you go. This is about the time I heard it, because we were doing this, and I was looking for these images online, and I found Butter Boy, and I listened to it, and I thought to myself, well, no wonder it made the charts. That was our highest charting song in Fanny, and because it was clever. The words were clever. They were a little bit racy for their time. We were banned in Boston. Now nobody would think twice about that, but so that was one of my favorites. But one of my big favorites is what we did on this most recent record, and we did a song called "When We Need Her," and it's written about women being there for each other, holding each other up, and supporting each other. And I get to tell you this story because I forgot about this. When we recorded that, because it was just June, Jean, and myself that got the record deal, but I wanted to bring all the other girls in Fanny, the women that had recorded this Fanny, so I called Alice DeBure and Patty Quattro. And when I was talking with Patty, she said, well, do you want some other girl band people? Because she knew a few, and I said, sure. I called Kathy Valentine from the Go-Go's, and she said, absolutely, I'm there. I want to do that with you. I called Cherie Currie from the Runaways, and she said, you guys were queens. I want to work with you, and she came and did it with us. I called Vicki Peterson from the Bangles, and she said, absolutely, I'm there. I'll do it. And she said, can I bring the other girls? And I said, okay. So we have all 3 Bangles singing on that as well as Patty from Fanny. And I also brought in, I felt like it was, at the moment, it was the right thing to do. I also brought in some women musicians that I knew that had been working for almost as long as we had, but never got the light shown on them. So I got the opportunity to bring them and have them have the experience of working with all these successful women, some women you've never heard of, and with the women in Fanny who were somewhere in between, because although we did something special, there's not a whole lot of recognition because we didn't have big hits. So that was a big deal for me. So that, I think, is my favorite experience. It's not my favorite song, it's my favorite experience. This is there with us. Just a real great bunch of women. You know, I love doing that with women. And the Scenes in the March, that was a women's march in LA that we went to. So cool stuff. So any more questions?
How did it feel to make history?
Did you what?
To make history.
You know, God, that's such a big question. I don't know. It's not in the front of my head. I mean, I accept that now that we were part of history, but it doesn't feel like it because when we were doing it, we were just 3 young teenage girls hanging out and playing instruments and having fun and being in our own little tribe. So I'm proud that I had a part in that, but it's cool. Let me just say that. Yeah.
Where's the rest of you? Like, where's the whole band?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Where's the whole band?
Okay, the whole band. One of the women lives here in Davis, and then June, the guitar player, lives back east. So it's kind of difficult for us to get together and to do things because we live so far apart. And also, too, an unfortunate thing, right before we did the She Rocks Awards thing, our bass player had a minor stroke. So she's not able to play right now, and she's recovering really well. And it took me a little while to wrap my head around that, but it's been a while now. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking the place that we made with bringing back what these women did, and I'm going to move forward. I'd love to work with Jean as soon as she's ready. I'm waiting for that day. But I'm going to continue to record, and I'm going to do some other things with other women. And you guys inspired me today. The next time I do something, which is real soon, I've got something planned, I'm going to look for the young women, because I want to be able to offer to bring that to, give those that haven't had their chance yet to do it. So I'm going to make that one of my goals, is to this time have some young women included.
So I'm crying just from this whole experience, so I just want to say thank you.
Oh, okay.
So much.
So sorry, did I go over?
No, it's fine. I'm just crying because we're just really glad you're here. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.